Mark Wahlberg entered Jimmy Fallon's set with his usual cool swagger, the crowd erupting into cheers as the two longtime friends hugged and exchanged jokes. The mood was light, energetic, as Fallon praised Mark's new film. Wahlberg cracked jokes, tossed playful jabs, and the audience roared. Things shifted, however, when Fallon brought up Mark's early past. "You ever think about those days running wild in Boston?" Jimmy asked with a grin. Mark smiled faintly. "I've addressed my past," he said. "I focus on the man I am now." Fallon pressed further, referencing specific incidents Mark had long put behind him. "I mean, you did some crazy stuff, right?" The smile on Wahlberg's face faded slightly. "That's not who I am anymore, bro," he replied. Fallon, seemingly unaware of the shift, kept poking the same spot, trying. To keep it funny, Fallon pulled out an old photo from the 90s, Mark shirtless striking a tough pose. "This guy right here." Jimmy laughed. The crowd laughed too. Mark forced a chuckle. "We all grow," he said. "That guy was just surviving." Fallon joked, "Yeah, but he also kind of looks like he'd rob you." The laughter turned awkward. Mark stared at Fallon. "I did things I regret, man. That's not comedy to me." Fallon replied quickly, "Just trying to keep it light." Mark said, "Some things shouldn't be made light of." Silence. Fallon tried pivoting. "Well, you've clearly turned it around, family, fitness, faith." But the tone had changed. Wahlberg, once relaxed, was now tense. He looked uncomfortable, jaw clenched slightly, eyes down. It was no longer entertainment. It was personal. Fallon, unaware of the tension's depth, pushed toward more controversial topics. "You've said you pray a lot. You really think Hollywood respects that?" he asked, grinning. Mark nodded slowly. "I don't care if they do. It's who I am." Jimmy laughed. "So you're like a tough guy priest now?" Mark tilted his head. "You mocking my faith now?" Fallon backpedaled. "No, I swear I'm just goofing," Mark said. "That's part of the problem. People think sincerity's a joke." The audience didn't know whether to laugh or stay silent. Fallon tried redirecting, asking about Mark's strict 4 a.m. workout routine. Mark shrugged. "Helps keep my head clear, especially after conversations like this." Fallon chuckled nervously. "Well, we're just talking, right?" Mark nodded. But his expression said otherwise. Then came the tipping point. Fallon said, "You've done so much, but do you ever feel like you're overcompensating for who you used to be?" The words hit hard. Mark leaned forward. "You trying to psychoanalyze now, Jimmy?" Fallon laughed nervously. "I'm just saying you've built this image. Fitness, faith, family. It's like a redemption story." Mark replied firmly, "It's not a story. It's my life." The room grew cold. "You think this is some act? You think I fake waking? Up before sunrise and grinding every day to fix a reputation from 30 years ago?" Fallon stammered. "I didn't mean that." Mark shook his head. "Yeah, you did. And that says a lot more about how you see people like me than you think." The audience was stunned. Fallon looked lost. Mark sat back, visibly fuming. A producer whispered from offstage. Fallon clearly got the cue to rap. He tried to end, on a high note. "All right, folks, give it up for Mark Wahlberg." But Mark stayed silent. Then slowly, he rose. "You want a soundbite, Jimmy? Here's one. Don't invite people on your show if you're just gonna twist their truth into punchlines." Fallon reached out. "Hey, man, come on." But Mark stepped back, mic still clipped to his shirt. "You're better than this. Or at least I thought you were." Without another word, Wahlberg walked off stage, leaving the audience shocked, and Fallon awkwardly staring into the cameras. The band didn't play. There was no joke to soften the moment, just silence. One of TV's most consistent, late-night partnerships had just collapsed. Live, backstage chaos followed. Wahlberg's team declined any post-show interviews. Fallon was visibly shaken, meeting with producers immediately. The footage, of course, was instantly clipped and shared online. "Mark Wahlberg walks off Fallon" began trending within minutes. Debates erupted across platforms. Some viewers accused Fallon of crossing the line, calling it ambush journalism disguised as comedy. Others defended him, saying Mark was too sensitive. Industry insiders quietly whispered that Fallon had misread the room and Wahlberg's current mindset. PR teams from both sides scrambled to control the narrative. Fallon's apology, if any, didn't come that night. The episode ended abruptly, and reruns were scheduled in some regions to avoid airing the full awkwardness. The next morning, headlines dominated social media and major outlets. Faith and Fury, Wahlberg explodes on Fallon, and when jokes go too far filled homepages. Wahlberg remained quiet, though a close friend tweeted, "Mark doesn't play pretend. You come at him sideways, he'll walk straight out." Support poured in from fans who praised his composure and stance. Fallon, meanwhile, faced backlash, not because he joked, but because he didn't read the moment. He later addressed it on his show, stating, "Mark's a passionate guy. I might have gone too far. If I did, I'm sorry." The apology felt half-measured to some, sincere to others. Either way, the incident had changed something, not just between Fallon and Wahlberg, but in how light-hearted interviews were being re-examined in the industry. Mark, days later, posted a quiet Instagram photo, no caption. Just him in prayer, early morning, Jim behind him. The message was clear. No drama, no shouting, just discipline and peace. Fans loved it. The post went viral. Meanwhile, Fallon's show ratings dipped slightly. Sponsors asked questions. Agents for other stars reportedly began asking for interview outlines before appearing. What once was a casual late-night setting had become a space for potential confrontation. And Wahlberg? He continued with his press tour, choosing podcasts and private interviews over network shows. When asked directly about Fallon, he responded simply, "I don't do fake." That single sentence turned into a quote, then a trend, then a slogan, shared by millions online. Over the next few weeks, the incident remained a touchstone in pop culture discussions. Comedians debated where humor ends and harm begins. Some sided with Fallon's spontaneity. Others sided with Wahlberg's refusal to be a punchline. Celebrities came out with their own awkward interview stories. A few even canceled appearances, citing Wahlberg protocol. Fallon's team reportedly restructured interview prep. Producers began flagging sensitive topics more carefully. What was once a harmless jab at a guest's past had become a PR firestorm. The shift was deniable. The idea that you can joke about anything was now being met with, "But should you?" And in the middle of it all was Mark Wahlberg, calm, silent, unmoved. Today, the moment lives in replay loops and top 10 walk-offs lists. But for Mark Wahlberg, it was just another test of character. He didn't yell, he didn't flip tables, he walked out. And by doing so, he controlled the narrative. Not as an angry star, but as a man unwilling to compromise his truth. Fallon, known for laughs and light moments, faced his sharpest on-air lesson. And the audience, often caught between laughter and discomfort, learned too. Mark's departure wasn't dramatic. It was deliberate. And that, in a world of viral overreactions and digital outrage, spoke louder than anything else. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is simply stand up, say nothing, and leave.